All right, let's talk about what happens when a truly legendary brand decides to flip the script on its own identity. We're not just talking a new logo here. This is a full-on reinvention that sent ripples through sports, fashion, and culture. Today, we're breaking down the anatomy of one of the boldest rebrands in recent memory, the evolution from Puma to PVMA.
For over 75 years, you've seen this leaping cat everywhere. It's more than a logo, right? It's become a global symbol for speed, agility, and cool. From the Olympic track to city streets, Puma built this incredible, powerful legacy. A legacy that honestly seemed untouchable.
And then in 2025, the unthinkable happened. The name we all knew changed. Puma became PVMA. It was a move that was impossible to ignore, and it left everyone asking one single, giant question.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why would a beloved global brand with decades of cultural clout risk it all on a new name? Well, we're about to find out.
To really get the weight of this change, you first have to understand the sheer scale of the legend they were dealing with.
I mean, Puma's history is just incredible. Founded way back in 1948, it didn't just stay in the sports lane. By the 80s, it was the unofficial shoe of b-boy culture. Fast forward to the 2010s, and it's on the feet of Usain Bolt, the fastest man alive. And by 2017, the Fenty collab with Rihanna completely changed the streetwear game. See, this was never just a sports brand, it was a cultural force.
So, with a history like that, you have to ask, why on earth would you change a formula that's clearly winning?
Well, from everything we've seen, the strategy boiled down to three main drivers. First, they needed to connect with a whole new wave of consumers, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, who value things differently. Second, they wanted to make a huge, public statement about building a sustainable future. And finally, they aimed to forge a modern identity that could speak to everyone, everywhere, in a much bigger global market.
And that sustainability piece, it was so critical they literally built it right into the name. The V in PVMA stands for Visionary Values. It's not just a random letter, it's a public promise, a stake in the ground saying we are committed to innovation and a greener future.
Now, having a powerful vision is one thing, but execution? Execution is everything. So how exactly did they pull this massive shift off?
They followed a super clear three-step playbook. First up, transform the logo itself. Step 2, launch a massive global campaign to make sure the whole world knew about it. And finally, Step 3, lock in the new identity with collaborations that pointed to the future.
And the design thinking here was so smart. It was all about evolution, not revolution. On the left, you see the classic Puma, that powerful heritage. But on the right, you see the future. The cat is still there, leaping, but it's sharper, sleeker. The font is cleaner, more geometric, built for a digital world. They kept the soul of the brand, but gave it a fresh, new look.
The launch campaign was called Evolve Beyond Limits, and it wasn't just about selling shoes, it was about selling a mindset. They brought in athletes, artists, and activists, people who actually live that idea of pushing boundaries. It made sure the message was everywhere, from giant stadium screens to your social media feed.
But let's be real for a second. A move this big is an enormous gamble. There was absolutely no guarantee of success. So let's talk about the massive risk they took versus the potential reward.
The company knew there would be skeptics, so they got out ahead of it. The CEO, Arne Frount, put out this really simple, direct message. He said, "We're not leaving Puma behind. We're taking it to the next level. PVMA is Puma, evolved." That kind of honesty was absolutely crucial to get loyal fans on board with the change.
So the big question, did the gamble pay off? Well, while there was a little bit of initial skepticism, as you'd expect, the public response was overwhelmingly positive. Social media just lit up with hashtags like Hello PVMA, with fans and influencers really getting behind the bold new direction. They totally managed to turn that early doubt into a huge win.
So the launch was a certified hit. But this rebrand was never just about making a splash in the present. It was about building a legacy for the future.
And this is where it gets really serious. This isn't just marketing talk. It's a tangible commitment. PVMA has set this massive, ambitious goal to make 100% of its products biodegradable by 2030.
That's a huge statement of intent. They don't just want to be in the sustainable fashion conversation, they want to lead it.
In the end, the whole Puma to PVMA story is a masterclass in brand evolution. It proves that even the most iconic legacies sometimes need bold, calculated risks to thrive. It all boils down to one critical question. How do you build a brand that's not just for today, but for tomorrow? The leaping cat hasn't gone anywhere, it's just learned to soar.